Content warning for excessive swearing and discussions of child abuse.
Oh my god, this has more complications than that time we tried to record the first episode. Hi,
Oh
this
my
is our
god.
third time trying to record the second episode of Castle of Dorks revamp. I'm Edible Soup, and this is my fiance Kat, and this is our
Hi.
special guest, my sibling Julian, whose fucking Zoom profile wasn't working, so he has to be right next to me the whole time. Hi. Uh, today Today we're talking about Sam and Colby. Specifically, last year was it last year?
Yes.
Last
Last
year's
year.
Hell Month, which was apparently an expanded version of Hell Week, but they forgot that multiple times, so they just kept calling it Hell Week. But despite that, first off, I want to issue a apology ahead of time. The third time I've done this, uh, towards Sam and Colby fans, if I'm a little too negative. I know I have a lot of negative thoughts about episode 1. What the fuck is it? Paveglia Island, and episode 4,
Jesus
The
Christ.
Conjuring House, which is apparently like the fifth time they've been to a place regarding the Conjuring series.
More than the fifth time. They've been to they went to the original Conjuring house technically twice. They did a video there in I don't remember what year. I
But
think it was 2019, and then they did it again in 2024.
yeah, so Paveglia Island. So first off, I know that in ghost hunting and abandoned places, you do sometimes have to break some trespassing laws. I mean, sure, but it's a giant fucking island. Like that should seem a bit, off limits, but okay. Uh, so first off, um, my only notes were that Victor, the guy who brings them to the island, is chill as hell, and
I love Victor.
Josh is wearing a cool ass Silent Hill 2 shirt that I kind of want to cop. But other than that, I didn't like this episode. I mean, like I said, I liked 2 and 3, but I did not like this episode. One, it's a ghost hunting episode with barely any ghost hunting in it. Two, the entire episode, Sam and Colby are outside of the island and are hearing weird noises, and they're expecting that to be like ghosts and demons, when it's literally just animals. You're on an island that's uninhabited. Of course, animals are gonna be there. Like,
They
animals
did
are
bring up
everywhere.
a couple of times. They did bring up a couple of times. They did bring up a couple of times that they're 99% sure that some of it was animals.
Yeah, they do talk about a pretty big animal, and Josh does see some rat that just shows up, but you don't see him on camera. Um, but let's talk about the ghosts. There is
Assume that the rat is male.
uh there is one ghost who's really prevalent this entire time. Her name is Peggy. She died during, I believe, in the hospital. So basically, the lore behind Paveglia is that there's a giant graveyard because it was a huge place that got hit by the Black Plague really hard. So, so basically, when the plague hit, which is basically a harder version of COVID, um, Paveglia suffered a lot of casualties, and there was a huge hospital there where patients would kind of just lay there and die. They mentioned how there wasn't really a cure, so it was basically just a place to lay there and die so nobody else catches anything. Um, and then they made an insane asylum next to it. I know insane asylum isn't the best term for that kind of thing, but I believe they call it that throughout the episode.
Yeah,
So,
because back then it was called an insane asylum, so they were
and
just using the terminology
patients at
from.
the asylum are mistreated, and there's a doctor there who's like doing lobotomies and killing people from his crazy experiments, who they try to summon the entire thing. A bold take, I don't think they do. Peggy just kind of warns them that there is something there. They assume it's the doctor, and then uh, you know, they kind of try to urge the messages or bend the messages into saying that the evil doctor is there. Because what is your video without having one of the most famous things to come out of Paveglia show up in it? Fine, like that's good. Like I said this in the last episode, there are a ton, like everything on the internet is fake to a certain degree. So I understand that for content you need to do certain things. So I'm not blaming them for anything. They try to make it entertaining. You know, the bridge scene was kind of tense, but and they
I
try
love
to
how you
like
said scene as if it's a movie.
I mean, it basically is. I mean, there's episode 3 is literally the plot to the film As Above, So Below. Uh, but besides besides all that, this I mean, this literally felt like Marble Hornets season 3 when they find the big hospital. And Rosswood, where they focused way too much on the hospital and forgot, oh, wait, that's right. We spent other time at other locations in the original series. But fuck that, I guess. I have a lot to say about Marble Hornets, and I really want to do a Marble Hornets episode. Anyway, I know I'll probably be attacked for that one too, since the Marble Hornets community is very tough. Despite, um, I am, I guess, despite only getting something to watch every 10 years. But besides all that, the episode, like the people themselves are charming. I didn't really like Josh that much. He just kind of seemed like another loud person, but he didn't have the same charming ability that Sam and Colby have. Also, a hot topic plug in the middle of an episode where you're trying to go to a graveyard was a bit eh. But besides all that, the actual ghost hunting stuff was intriguing. They're probably the best in the business. Definitely better than anything TLC or Discovery ever showed. Um, it
I
reminded
did
me.
that Project Fear. Project Fear. I
I
haven't watched many of Project Fear's videos, but Project Fear is another prevalent one.
I don't know what Project Fear is. My experience with the ghost hunting stuff is that I saw a lot of shows on like channels that my mom and grandma used to watch a lot, and that I saw the House on Eden movie, which is basically a fictional horror movie based on or starring real ghost hunters. That was not a bad film. Sam and Colby are barely in that
And
movie. I
Jay.
believe.
They're not in the movie, but they do have a brief cameo
They
on a
have
video call.
Yeah, they have a brief cameo, and they're also mentioned twice. Yeah. I don't know. That movie was fine. There was a lot of character like developments that was actually good. It was kind of like that new War Machine movie where it's basic, but there's some fun characters and stuff like that. The ending was weird as hell, but that's not a point of contention here. So they wander around and they wander around and then they do a little ghost stuff. They use like an EMF line that they walk around with.
EMF rope.
Um, they use like a flash. They use 2 flashlights on a windowsill that for like yes and no. Uh, and I feel like the videos can be a bit over edited at times. Like, okay, so right at the end of the episode, they're doing a ritual to sort of talk to the demons and the doctor. And the entire time while they're doing this ritual, they're flashing pictures of the doctor and like his patients in your face, and it's like, okay, calm down. I get that the over editing. I'm gonna bring up Mr. Beastification. This is better than any Mr. Beast video I've ever seen post 2019. Um, Mr. Beastification basically says that it's a lot of brain stimulating yelling, over edited to keep your brain fully in that sort of loop, and I get that. It's great for views and stuff like that. The video ends with Victor picking them up, and they just kind of leave. Uh, See, my one problem with these is they're anticlimactic, climactic, and the problem is I don't know how to fix that because I I don't know the proper way to fix just and then we left.
And then we left.
And then we left. Like that makes sense. You showed up to a place, you ghost hunted, and then you left. That makes sense. It's just not. And they tried their best with it. I mean, okay, can we talk about the second episode now?
Oh, no, let's just end this.
All right.
So I was surprised that for the Helmet merch on their app, that they did not sell a coloring page version of the map they use in Beverly Island.
That's right. They do have a map. They do have a fun map that
Yeah.
Josh is constantly
Complimenting.
and they wander. They wander around. Like they're constantly guessing because there's not really an available map to this thing, and so they're going from the hospital in the main area to like the chapel and the big bell tower looking thing, and then the graveyard. They don't really do much in the graveyard. I think they do like one ghost hunting investigation and then they just leave. Because Peggy tells them to go to the tower, and then they're told to leave. But they're like, we can't really leave because we have a guy who's supposed to pick us up, and we can't leave until then. So
They do bring up at the beginning of the video that it's a fucking 2-mile swim.
yeah, it is. There's cops everywhere. They're like at a certain point, Josh hears a boat. And they see flashlights in the distance, and they're like, oh shit, it's the cops, they know we're here. One of my main complaints for this episode is they go, all right guys, we can't make any noise or like any lights while we're trying to get on the island at first because they might see the lights and stuff. And then there's a fucking drone shot, which means they set up a drone with a camera on it, which someone could clearly see, especially because camera drones have lights on them to make sure you know where they are. And they're recording. But, I mean, it's very well shot. It reminds me of a found footage movie. That's the only drone shot in the entire thing.
Listen, Sam and Colby, whilst I love them, and they are very smart, sometimes don't think things all the way through.
Constantly they're told to leave, and they just go, what? You want us to leave? We will, but can you tell us more?
They did a lot of investigations.
Can you tell us more, please? So that's all I got to say about Paveglia. A great name, by the way. I love it. Episode 2 was a lot better.
Episode 2 is my first favorite of the 4. It was when Sam was talking to the devil, and I actually love it. I love that one.
Yeah, so this one gets out of hand really quickly.
Yeah.
They're just there because there was some witches who were on trial. Was it Salem or just some random witch trial?
It was in the UK, I believe.
Okay. So, witch trials are a famous time. A lot of it was misogyny. It was a lot of people say there's an amazing film called Haxon, which is metal as hell, where they basically say that the witch trials were a lot like the 40s, 50s, 60s, were like the olden time version of the women hysteria movement, where a lot of people, where whenever a woman said something, there's a murderer or something, she was deemed hysterical. So a lot of witches in the witch trials weren't really, witches. They were just women who could like read, which, so in the episode, they're trying to find out whether these 3 witches who were basically gaslit into snitching on each other as being witches or admitting to being witches, to find out if they're actually witches or not. And then that just spirals into they summon the fucking devil with actual rituals with like candle lightings and shit. And
sorry. where something that was the whole purpose of the episode, there was also a spot with the witches that way they could like have a good like ground for that.
Yeah. My only problem with this episode was the beginning. That I think that's the same with all of these. Is at the beginning they don't have much because they haven't started any of the investigations yet, so they have to wander around the house and try to make like uh vague connections. Like for example, they come across a notebook with a bunch of drawings with something that looks like a dog. Doesn't even look that much like a dog, but uh, like a drawing of a dog, and they're like, well, it would say that they would trigger the devil through the dog. Like again, it's for engagement. It's understandable as someone trying to get into the content creation circle myself. I understand all of this. It's very good for the YouTube algorithm. It's just, yeah, not my cup of tea. But anyway, so they summon the fucking devil with uh some witch. I think she's a witch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
an actual
She's a
witch.
witch. She's goth as hell. I love her. There's
And
also another girl there who's been there the entire time. She's like their guest host or whatever. Uh,
Nikki.
Guest explorer or whatever. And uh, I also like her outfit throughout the entire video. I mean, that's cool. Um, but
I do want to go fast.
yeah,
So in this video, so Sam is with the guest and the boys they summon the devil. Colby does not. Instead, he prays for protection and stuff.
yeah. So that's the thing. He's kind of like, I don't want to do this, and then he stands there and watches. I get it. I get that he doesn't want to abandon his friends, but it's still kind of funny. Oh, Colby pulls out the whole "do as we say, not as we do." He's like, "Look, guys, don't do this at home," and shit like that. But I love the idea that ghosts and demons are so ancient and stuff that they can't figure out computers because they're like, we can confirm you can't get affected through the screen. And I'm like, why? Can they not just figure out computers? You know, if I ever die, I'm gonna petition, or when I die and go to hell, I'm gonna petition to become a demon and become their IT guy to teach demons how to haunt computers and shit. Because you never hear of a demon haunting a computer. You always hear a demon, oh, it's in my doll, it's in the walls, it's in the clock. My clock ticks twice instead of once, so it's haunted. Or something like you never hear like, oh shit, my computer's haunted. But
By the way, 17 minutes into the episode, we just want to Sam and Colby. We're not like criticizing you to
no,
be assholes.
I've said this multiple times this entire episode. We're only like a little bit into it, but I am simply critiquing the content as content. I'm from the film circle, and that's what we do. We just critique the film. We critique the film for its, you know, themes and stuff like that it brings into the film, not anyone working on the film. I do critique some people, you know, if they're like racists or Nazis, but wait, that's the same thing. I but um but no harm to the people themselves. This is content. It's being put into the popular, you know, into the public. So therefore, you know, it's free game to critique, to talk about on this podcast. Uh, but so they summon the fucking devil, and they're like, "Well, were they witches?" And he's like, "Well, some of them, but the rest of them, I don't fucking know those bitches." Um,
We have 9 minutes left on this meeting, and then we have to start another one. Just an FYI.
yeah, we'll start another one. You can start like infinite ones, right? You're the one with the most Zoom experience.
That's concerning. I don't know. These are recorded. We just did this for school.
Yeah. I think when we did the Bree one, we were allowed to open infinite Zooms. If not, we can go back to Discord and record the third, about the third episode or the other half of this second episode. if Discord's fucking working. But so
Discord, we love you. We're sorry.
Discord, your AI age verification shit is bullshit. You just had a fucking breach, and you're introducing an ID verification to make people turn in their faces and IDs and shit like that. When you had a fucking breach, therefore it could happen a fucking again, and a ton of people could have their personal information leaked again, and this time even worse.
We need to put a content warning at the beginning of this episode for strong language.
I have a lot to speak about. I'm a very angry man. Uh, Look, I have really nothing else to do except watch movies and play video games, so I think a lot. But the highlight of this episode, and I think they know this because they do kind of hype this up a little bit, is Sam and the others are downstairs. Colby's upstairs, and he's got the music box on one side, which is a motion sensor, and the REM pod on the other side, which is an even more sophisticated sensor because not only does it sense motion, it also senses temperature and shit like that. And while they're downstairs, they're doing, is it a spirit box? What is it?
Yes.
It's a spirit box. So they're doing a spirit box to get words from manipulating radio channels because it is often believed that ghosts can emit EMFs, which can be picked over radio frequencies and shit like that, to basically manipulate them into words.
Oh,
Sometimes.
side note about spirit boxes. I was actually texting Julian the whole time I was doing this yesterday. I got a spirit box app. Please don't cancel me. While I was waiting for my bus, which I didn't end up riding because my aunt came and picked me up. But um it said a bunch of stuff starting with it said it's coming for you and then nothing really of note, and then all of the sudden it says 74. I asked, who is 74? It said my grandma's name. And then I asked if it said my grandma's name, and then it said commode. And my grandma uses a commode because her knees are too bad to get to the bathroom. Mind
But
you, I was the next town over.
So the thing about spirit boxes is because they manipulate frequencies and shit like that, they can sometimes messages can be fake because of radio frequencies. Any old radio frequency can get manipulated to say words. I'm not saying they are intentionally doing this. It's just how a spirit box fucking works. It just manipulates frequencies, and any old frequency can be read into the thing. So, yeah. But while they're there, they're basically told that something's going on upstairs. Someone's in danger, and
Oh. Another thing. After it said it's coming for you, a big ass moth flew by.
that's another thing. There's moths. There's fucking moths all over the place in this goddamn episode. One drowns itself and then comes back to life.
Yeah.
In some wine. But anyway, Colby's upstairs. Sam and the others downstairs. They're being told there's something going on, or that someone's in danger, and they basically figure out that it's upstairs and it is Colby who's in danger. While that's going on, Colby upstairs is standing in the hallway with the REM pod on one side, music box on the other side, and every time he walks over to the REM pod side, the music box goes off. Then he walks over to the music box side, and the REM pod goes fucking off the walls berserk. And he keeps doing this. The motherfucker doesn't know how to run. And Sam and the others make it over there, and the door's fucking locked. And nobody knows who locked it. So they figure out how to.
Yeah, because I don't even think Colby closed the door, side note.
Yeah,
So they
so
didn't notice the door closing or locking.
So they unlock the door, they go in there, and he survives because once again, even though they do find evidence of shit, nothing much happens. Uh,
Except they have several attachments, which is confirmed in their video investigating their house,
Yes.
which we'll do an episode on later, maybe. Or
yes,
maybe we'll talk to them specifically about it if they ever do come on the podcast, because we have an email scheduled for 2030 to send to their team to see if they would like to appear on our podcast.
yeah, that's the thing. We might do a Sam and Colby follow up episode, mainly because we do whatever the fuck we want on this podcast.
Exactly.
I've been saying way too many swear words because my brain is on adrenaline. Um, but so the Devil episode is really good. It's got a lot of great editing to it, but once again, the flashes, they keep flashing the images. Like, we get it. My favorite part of these episodes is learning the history, and but the thing is, after Sam and Colby's little history bits where they'll go in front of the camera and be like, and this is what happened. The them doing the investigation will then reiterate the same 7 points about the history that they just talked about.
Yes. Like in the Catacombs episode.
Yeah.
When they said like
They
ten
want to
times.
make sure you remember, is the thing.
When
Yes.
they said like 10 times in one sentence, like you get baptized in the catacombs.
These are long as hell episodes, which I think is a detriment to the Paveglia episode because nothing much happens in it, so
And
it's so fucking
I
long.
also I think it's the longest one of the four. If I have it correctly.
Yeah.
And even for it to be the least amount of gifts containing and the least amount of things actually happening. And
But this one's, I mean, this one's fun. They go into two separate rooms. They do, uh, basically, I don't know if anyone's seen the movie The Changeling, but in The Changeling, they do a recording interview where they're asking, like, two people are talking to each other. They're trying to do a seance, and they're like, fuck, this isn't working. And then they run back the tape, and they find out the ghost is speaking through the tape. Like, that's how you can hear his voice. And that's basically what they do here. They try to basically replicate that same effect. Nothing much happens in that area because it's just a bunch of random noises. They do that, I think, twice, maybe three times in this series, and it works once. It gels well once.
well, with the episode recorder, it's made so that way it cuts out sounds and like it does that. And I record what they were saying, and and also it works like multiple times.
Yeah.
It's
So
meant to cut out the silence between each question so that if something does answer, it'll pick it up.
yeah. So it just kind of works some point. Meanwhile, with the fucking planchette impaled on three pencils that are moving around while the people are, while Colby and the girl have their eyes closed. And one time they draw something and they go, "Well, if you drew ears on that, that would kind of look like a dog." Look, it's a doggy.
I love Nikki. She's so funny. Please do
um,
it. Sam and Colby, if you're watching this, please do more videos with Nikki and Emma.
yeah, but like this one gets weird as hell. But once again, its ending is just kind of, uh, uh, like they have a magician. He calls himself a magician, but he's not like a magician, stage magician. He's like a male witch, which is a warlock. But warlocks are evil, so um,
The wizard.
Shut the fuck up.
he's a wizard,
It's a
Harry.
wizard because that's the male witch. It's not evil.
He's a wizard, Harry. But he shows up and he does some chant. He like does a thing. Is he like cleansing it to make sure the devil's out?
I haven't seen this since it came out last year. So
Is he cleansing it to keep the devil out or something? He's doing some sort of chant to be like, "Demon be gone, Holy Spirit activate." Um, but yeah. So Colby's the entire time just freaked out as fuck. He's like praying during the ritual. He like I said, he's the one who's the target of the devil, basically. Like the devil's gunning for him the entire goddamn time. It's kind of funny. Like the devil's like, you in particular, fuck you. It's
Well, Colby brings this up in the video. He is a Christian, and that's one of his backing reasons for why he didn't want to do um
yeah, the devil
the
summoning.
summoning.
So he's the one who doesn't summon the devil and he gets targeted. That- I
Well,
know.
yeah, because the devil's helping Sam with figure out his dark side.
So they figure out their question really early, and that that's basically it. Like you figured out your question. Some of the witches, they they did go with the devil, but others didn't. Which I I'm, I could have told you that. That was that. I mean that's basically the consensus about the witch trials in any era ever. Is yeah, some of like a few claim to be actual witches who practice witchcraft, but most of it was just like, why you are wearing pants? We're gonna burn you. But that being said, I really liked this episode. This episode was good. This episode was fun. Um, they actually have people who they can bounce their personalities off of. Unlike the last episode where they're kind of just unregulatedly Sam and Colbish. Uh,
It's a word.
Colbish, yes, it is. Colbish.
Colbish.
Word.
It is now.
By the way,
It's like,
Colby's real name is Cole.
yes.
Sam and Colbish. Anyway, should we go on to the next episode? We're breezing through this.
The next episode was the Paris catacombs.
So I like this one, even though just like Paveglia, nothing much happens. But the thing is that unlike Paveglia, in Paveglia they just wander around these really, dirty areas, but it's just kind of grass and architecture most of the time. Whereas here they're exploring caves, cave exploring. This is like, I mean, one of the first creepy pastas ever was about cave exploring. But I guess it wasn't a creepypasta. It was like a blog, but who cares? Um, but so that's what makes this one fun. The ghost investigations, on the other hand, are kind of the weaker ones in the series. At least the Paveglia one, like you kind of become attached to Peggy as a character. You're like, "What up, Peggy? This is a chill ass ghost." Um, Whereas in the catacombs, the ghosts kind of give them a little bit of information, but they don't get much. So I don't have much to say about this
Because the
one.
ghosts don't want them.
They wander around with some, you know, guests who, they aren't the worst. They're fun. Uh, they're afraid the whole time that they're either gonna get one caught by police or two gonna get fucking mugged by a gang because the gangs just hang out in the catacombs. So the catacombs were basically a big burial place
Yes.
for, they said something like 6 million people.
Yeah.
Yep.
6 million people were buried in the Paris catacombs, so they're basically just walking over dead bodies, just like in Paveglia. But so they get flooded in, and they try to escape, which they do, but their exit is like hidden behind more concrete. um, but
And also for to look at is, when they were filming that episode, there was a text that was automated that was sent out that was saying that they were
A
stuck in
tweet.
catacombs, but really, at first they were just investigations ran long, and they were in there for a little too long, and then they got kind of lost their guide because their guide was like, yeah, all these other exits are all to one that actually have to go back this way.
their guide's kind of sketchy as shit. Just like Victor, he's a people smuggler through illegal areas, specifically catacombs. Uh, so like I said earlier, there's a movie about this called As Above, So Below, which basically likens the catacombs to the nine circles of hell, and it's a found footage film about characters going into the catacombs, in which they basically go through hell and also have to deal with their grief around certain things, or like their past. Uh, the One of my favorite things about the movies where where people have to deal with their past, like relive it and dark moments and stuff like that, is it's never just a guy who's been pretty good his entire life. It's always like someone who you know accidentally killed their mother during a fight, or their daughter had cancer but they gambled away all the savings. It's never just, hi, my name's Craig, and like one time I did something like vaguely shitty. I ate my friend's ice cream, and that's what I have to relive. All right, Craig kind of chill. But the catacombs episode was, it, I mean, it's good. It's entertaining, but the ghosts are just not noteworthy. They're like, we're here. Also, get the fuck out.
And there is a spot when one of the, because they had two guides. One of the guides had to leave, and the other one was guiding that one out. And they were left alone for like 5 minutes. And they sent Gavin, one of the people they were there with, to go walk down a hallway and scream to see if they could hear it. And they could still hear it. And I was texting Kat for this point. I was like, the catacombs are have an arch type structure to them, so of course they'll hear the sound carries and arches.
Yeah. So they don't encounter any gangs.
No.
Unlike the Paveglia one where they kind of almost run into police. Who hangs out in the fucking catacombs? It's like if a gang hung out in like a graveyard. The only people you see.
Psychomania. Kids shouldn't play with dead things.
So first off, the kids shouldn't play with dead things. Gang, we're not a fucking gang.
Yeah. Still, Psychomania.
Sorry, this is sorry to the listeners and my other host, who I'm kind of shooting down this whole time. This is becoming a movie podcast really fast, and that's my fault. Are you there?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have anything to say about the Sam and Colby investigate the catacombs?
Yes. Sam and Colby, if you're watching this, please do more videos with Gavin.
I mean, he was fun, but
So,
Also, this one's done in broad fucking daylight.
It is, but it's darker than the catacombs.
It is, but
it's underground.
It is, but you can almost tell that it's daylight, if that makes any sense. Like their energy is very daylight-ish.
Yes, but but it's so dark in the catacombs because they're underground, so they have to use like headlights and stuff to be able to get around.
Yeah. Oh, and once again, they're breaking the law. But
yeah.
The problem with this one is that, like it was said, a ton of people break the law when it comes to the catacombs. I mean,
At one point, they go to the door that leads to the legal part of the catacombs, which, in my opinion, they should have just gone back to and exited through there rather than going around and exploring the illegal part of the catacombs to get out through the illegal part.
The thing here is I'm not a claustrophobic person, so this one didn't really affect me really, because I'm not a claustrophobic person. I'm actually more comfortable in tight spaces than I am in bigger ones.
Autism.
We're gonna get a lot of comments calling me autistic if anyone watches this show.
Are you not diagnosed?
I'm gonna slap you.
You're literally diagnosed.
Okay, and you're literally wearing glasses, even though our viewers can't see that because this fucking laptop won't activate a camera. Either way, I don't like being on camera anymore because I look ugly as hell.
No, you don't.
But yeah. So that's basically everything we have to say about the Hellmonth Catacombs episode.
So then the big finale, the last episode.
Oh my god!
Was exploring the new Conjuring house. I really like this one. I've seen all of the Conjuring House with the old and the new ones. So all that I've even written a little project about it. So I really like this one.
So what the hell? uh this one I know this one was like the big fan pleasing one because the Conjuring House series has always been like fan acclaimed, fan beloved, whatever. Which is why they went back to the old faithful, you know, going to a Conjuring House, and with a new Conjuring movie coming out at the time, uh it seemed like a spot on thing. This episode tells you not to go watch the new movie.
Hmm. Because the thing that's in that house is not actually Demon Spoilers if you haven't seen this video yet, but the thing that's not actually doing it actually thrives off the attention and gets more powerful off the attention.
This episode tells you that uh, it tells you not to go watch the movie that is part of the series that Sam and Colby basically made a whole bunch of money off of. What the hell? So the Smurls,
Yes.
the Smurls
Yes.
were a very, uh, they were kind of like, they're like a B class haunting. I got like in popularity, I'd classify them B, maybe C. You know, they're not the same as the famous British one from that was featured in
Conjuring
Conjuring
2.
2, with the little girl, which we do know was probably faked, considering there were ways to fake it. Um, there's actually really interesting analyses of it. I'm not a skeptic. I fucking promise. I come off as such a skeptic this entire episode. um,
It's kind of hard for you to be a skeptic when your fiance has spiritual abilities.
but I'm coming off as a skeptic this entire episode. I even said, you know, spirit boxes can give off false messages or negative messages just because of, you know, fields and stuff like that.
Which they can.
And how certain devices that are used to just like, oh, we can hear the ghost words, are basically just random word pickers uh saying random words until they get it right. But I do believe, like, okay, so the Warrens, who they suck. I hate the Warrens. The Warrens were actual scammers who wandered into an industry, not industry, into a practice that they knew fucking nothing about, and made everything worse. There are legal documents saying they basically made an actual murder trial worse because of their involvement. They were also not cheap at all, which is why in every single one of these cases, you see people like the Smurls go to um, like churches and shit before they hit up the Warrens, because the Warrens were basically the defense attorney, or yeah, the defense attorneys uh, of the ghost hunting world. They were super fucking expensive. They also started off. Ed would sketch houses like right outside the house, and Lorraine would look at the sketch and would go, "This house is haunted." And then they would go up to the house. So it was basically just a big scam, and they're one of the most popular people in the ghost hunting world, because in their scam they just so happen to stumble upon haunted real haunted places.
And one of the things about the Warrens is that they're called demonologists.
Mm,
So they specialize more in the demonic side of supernatural. They're not really on like the more like they're just
They're
like
not on the light side, they're on the dark side, to speak in Star Wars terms.
that's what I mean.
thank
Yeah.
you. I am a dumbass who will only hear things in Star Wars or film talks or both. um
So is this film. So
Film is great. Although the film industry can suck a turd, but that's not the point. The Smurls basically have their own lore. They were focused around demons that were haunting their house. They claimed there was a dark entity named It, and haunting their place, and I believe maybe two others, and also claimed that they had sex with two of the demons.
I don't know.
Incubus and succubus.
Yeah, they had sex with an incubus and a succubus because even though they fucked a ghost, they're both straight. Remember that, straight ghost fuckers. No, they got assaulted. Um, but it's fine to make jokes about these people. They're probably dead.
They're still alive.
Oh
They're
fuck!
not.
Wait, then
They
that makes
this
this
Merle
video. That makes this video
They
even
say
fucking worse.
They say in the video that this girl was like, this girl was like, yeah, we don't want to comment on this thing.
Oh my god, that makes the realizations
Yeah.
in this video even worse. I
Uh-huh.
got pissed by this video. I'm sorry.
I really like
This
that.
is where. How long have we been going for? I'm guessing not long because we've been
15 minutes.
50 minutes. Okay.
But to be fair, 5 of those minutes were spent trying to rebuild the Zoom meeting. So
Yeah, but we might have to do that again later. But we're gonna be talking about this fucking Conjuring episode for a while. I could make a whole video on this episode. So basically, they go there and they have probably one of the best special guests they have on, Sketch. Sketch doesn't want to be there, and he makes that very clear. Sketch is just like, what the
Sketch
fuck?
was like, yeah. Sketch was like, I wore a bracelet with crosses on purpose.
Yeah, so Sketch, I mean, Sketch is basically this very popular streamer who got popular because of his catchphrase, "What's up, brother?" Um, he got in a really fucking stupid ass controversy right afterwards, right after his popularity, which just proves that people are just trying to strike down who's ever popular. Where he was revealed as maybe recording some gay adult videos for an OnlyFans because he had an addiction, and they posed him as in the wrong here. Like, what the fuck? But he was good. I didn't like FaZe Rug. FaZe Rug, I believe he charged for interviews.
Which one of the things I love about this episode is the 15 Princess sister. I absolutely love it when she's involved with videos. So I like her and I like Amanda. 'Cause I like the more like people that do this day to day, like they like with Amanda, how she sees spirits all the time. I feel like that she adds like validation to it almost, if that makes sense. Not saying that anyone's faking anything, but that Amanda makes it feel a little more real. Like I do believe these are real, but like, you know what I'm saying.
I hope this audio comes out good because oh my god, I do not want to have to record this episode for a fifth fucking time. Fourth. Who cares?
I do.
Um, so the the episode it mostly focuses around the it entity itself. So they're trying to figure out if the entity who was still there. So they go over this. They had multiple exorcisms. We all know exorcisms are bullshit.
Not
Um,
all of them.
oh my god, yes they are. Exorcisms are the worst way to deal with demon possession or demon takeover of anything ever. Even in real life, like regarding movies, have you ever heard of an exorcism actually fucking working? Because it never does. I don't know if you ever saw the documentary The Devil and Father Amorth, directed by the actual director of The fucking Exorcist. William Friedkin was basically invited to go watch this really old dude who's a very popular, I guess, exorcist perform an exorcism on this lady who had already had like 30 of them. And he does the exorcism. He like cleanses her of the demon, and then like 30 minutes later, William Friedkin's like, and she was still possessed and almost killed us. And I was like, what the fuck? So, even though the paranormal is real, or there's entities outside of this dimension that are coming into this dimension as ghosts and shit like that, um, exorcisms are probably the worst way to deal with them because it always makes it worse. I don't remember if you guys know about the case of Michelle, what's her face? the young girl who had undergone 65 different exorcisms before she died because she had a mental disorder and also epilepsy, dying of malnourishment and dehydration, and also a kid who was drowned during an exorcism. But that's my stance on exorcisms. Exorcism's bad. I believe they break out the REM pod in this.
They do, yeah.
They break out the REM pod. It goes crazy because that's what it does. Temperature changes, and shit like that. But they're trying to find uh, this entity who they think is still there, and they let's just get to the meat of the episode. They try to do a Ouija board on the floor
With Pythian priestess.
with an actual priestess,
Yes.
and the ghost they summon, his name is Patrick.
Nobody knows that.
Why'd you do the Patrick Star voice?
Because I did, because his name is Patrick.
No.
No, this is Patrick. That's what they're like. Is this the entity? No, this is Patrick.
Dave, Jesus Christ.
No, the devil. They summon the devil, not Jesus Christ. Paul McCartney met Jesus Christ, not Sam and Colby. Yeah. So Paul McCartney, this episode's gonna be a lot of one-offs. It already has been. I've brought up so many fucking things. Paul McCartney claims that one day this guy who comes into his house, he's like, "I'm Jesus." This was in Britain, so I'm guessing he's English. "I'm Jesus," and he's like, "Wow, you Jesus?" And he's like, "I'm Jesus." So he's like, "Come on in." So he offers him food, and then they go to a recording session that he has booked, and he just lets this guy who claims he's Jesus sit there and watch a recording session. Because what if he is Jesus and he just like refused Jesus? But enough about my stupid history anecdotes. Um, Sam and Colby and the priestess, they do a Ouija board where they find Patrick, and they find out that Patrick is being controlled by this strange entity. And every time I say the word entity, I just get reminded of Linkara even more. So this entire time I was Linkara brained. I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna devour the fucking world.
So so one of
This comic sucks.
So when they're doing this Ouija board, to Patrick, and they
Hee
find
hee
out,
hee 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 hee.
and they find out that that half of these hauntings in the Swift family were faked, and that the third exorcism that they tried, they did a bunch of exorcisms. The third one actually worked and actually banished this demon that was in their house.
And then it didn't.
No,
It did, and then it
because
didn't.
then a different type of entity, more it's called an egregore.
Egregore.
And it's more about attention.
And the thing is that they hype this shit up. They hype this specific thing up. They open the episode. Well, they don't open the episode, but at a certain point in the episode, really early in it, they go, "We found something that could change the paranormal landscape around this case forever." And I'm like, "All right, what is it?" And it's basically just victim blaming.
Okay, so but also it's that they were lying after
So
they passed it.
here's the question:
Yes.
were they lying, or did they just not know that the third exorcism worked?
Yes, or maybe so. I don't know.
Yes and yes.
Because you never know with this shit. There's no like Xbox achievement after you complete the exorcism that goes, ba-ding! It's called like Demon Banisher or something like that. Um, have you gotten your platinum trophy for fucking banishing demons yet? Like, oh, but so, and that's my problem is that they basically outright say these people lied instead of just saying these people might have not known that they just banished the threat and accidentally made it worse. but they outright say they lied, which is a problem because, um, I mean, who are you to throw out accusations towards someone you don't know? But they moved away. The Smurls moved away a while ago, and they claim that they've still seen evidence of demon possession, or they still like see things from the thing, and that could be something left over, latched onto them, or just PTSD. Because it could be traumatic, no, thinking that there's a fucking demon in the house, knowing that or trying to kill you and your family. But besides that, I'm saying a lot of the same words this entire episode. I do that
But
a lot.
besides that,
Besides that, besides all of that, they go to the attic. The owners of the house, um, they haven't gone to the attic at all, so it hasn't been opened since like the Warrens were there. And they go to the attic and they basically find nothing, but content algorithm says that stuff has to happen, so they try to make something out of nothing, which is fine because I understand algorithm stuff. It's just a little annoying. uh, but the main problem with this episode is they do this huge Ouija board and they figure out all this shit. And you're like, oh wow, what a great way to end the episode. And they fucking don't, and there's another investigation. What?
Yeah, to see if they're really telling the truth.
Yeah, so they do this where one of them, is it Phase or is it just like Colby or Sam? I think it's Phase.
No, it's Colby. Who did the
Colby.
FS.
it wasn't Rug.
They do the Estes method and they're writing down words. To like, or not writing, like say words or whatever. And they basically find out, oh, did you know that the thing that Patrick just said was true is, true? It's like, what the hell? Then what was this about?
And also, I love drama, and I really like this because I really liked this episode because all like the dramas of like, oh wait, this wasn't actually real. I'm like, what? Like, mind blown.
But that's the problem, is that they outright say, oh, they lied, which means that they might get a fucking lawsuit
I'm
for
surprised
slander
they haven't yet.
because they
And
outright said these
I
people who might have just not known lied.
Well, this video's been out since last October, and they've not got a lawsuit yet that we know of.
They could be handling it in the background, like when Fantano was sued and didn't announce it until after he won. And Ronnie didn't even announce that he sued him until after he lost. But we're not talking about that because that's not important right now. But the main problem with this episode does not come in the fact that they call these people who might have just not known liars. It doesn't come in the fact that they do an unnecessary investigation directly after. It doesn't even come in the fact that they spend half the episode prowling around the house and being like, is something there? It comes in the ending of the episode. So, they figured out that people coming to the house adds popularity and allows the entity to grow. And they then go on camera, directly to the camera, and go, we didn't realize the weight to our influence of people of our audience and how faithful you guys are. And basically they say, stay away from this house. Now, as I said earlier, they essentially tell you not to go see the movie because the movie itself is giving the entity more power because it's about the entity. And then they say that they will try to be more careful about their influence. and shit like that. So you've been influencers for over 10 years now, and you
12 years.
just now realize that, oh shit, the stuff I post in public has an effect on people around me. I I was just so like, so you post yourself breaking the law in the same series where you go, oh, but people like us have to think about the implications of our content. What?
I have a
Why?
feeling that's why they did The Conjuring last.
I just, I don't know what to say because that's like someone shooting another person and then going, gun violence is bad. Uh, but the silver lining of this whole thing, I know any Sam and Colby fan who's made it this long and heard me shit on this fucking episode. The silver lining is I liked episode 2, I liked episode 3. If I can't really talk about something in detail, it means I really like it because I can't think of anything to say about it because of how good it is. With episodes like 1 and 4, I had so much to say about it because I was just mad. Julian,
I
you have
was
anything to add?
angry.
So I really liked two of my favorite. I liked all of them now, and that's basically it.
2 was the best one because that's when they actually get wild and crazy like that. Kat, do you have anything to say?
What I have to say is that I thoroughly enjoyed Hell Week, especially having done it in sound immersion. And um, I was actually able to hear a bunch of background noise. And with my spiritual abilities, there was also a couple of times where I was able to see shadow figures. I don't remember exact points just because I watched so much Sam and Colby in the past week.
And what I have to say is, I'm sorry if I was way too hateful. My actual thoughts aren't as hateful as this. My brain is running on adrenaline. It always is whenever the camera's on. It's like shit. I got to say shit. So the problem is that just I'm more expressive when the camera is on. Um, I'm sure everyone is. That's why you see people like Sam and Colby who are probably a lot more chill and in-depth people in their lives than they are just like running around and screaming in their videos. But I really enjoyed them as people. I think the characters they made for themselves on the internet are some of probably the best in um, the modern landscape of social media. Uh, but even though I hated 2 out of 4, I still really enjoyed this content and would love to do a follow-up episode.
Which leads me to my shameless plug of please subscribe to my personal YouTube channel. It will be linked below with my in my link tree. In the well, actually I'll have the Castle of Dorks link tree, which has a link to my link tree that has my personal social medias, e.g., my YouTube channel, my Instagram, my Twitter. I refuse to call it X. I'm sorry, not really. My TikTok and my Twitch.
Uh, Also, please subscribe to the channel and hit like on this video. Once we hit the YouTube Partner Program, if any of you are listening, um, then you can hype the video, but we're not there yet. And also, I'm everywhere, on everywhere. I'm Edible Soup. YouTube, Blue Sky, because I don't use Twitter. Um, and I also refuse to call it X. Instagram and TikTok, I guess, if you wanna, but I don't even use TikTok, especially after the fucking buyout. I don't have a fancy link tree or anything like Kat does, so I can't really link it below. and she's in charge of uploading these videos, or not uploading, but she's in charge of the videos. So I don't know if I'm allowed to. But yeah,
You're allowed to do whatever you want. It's your podcast too. I said this multiple times.
yeah. But you're executive, so it's your thing. But that was the episode, and I'm gonna have a hell of a time cutting this down in whatever software I use. Join us next time because we are going to introduce another person who might be reoccurring on this series, our friend and I guess mystery host.
Our mystery co-host that may only appear on occasion.
Yeah, because we want to do a lot of episodes.
We also might have Bree back on the podcast. Tune for that.
Yeah, I would love to have Bree back on, especially because her episode was ruined by my fucking audio. As long as she doesn't say anything that'll get us canceled. But
I don't think she will.
But that's the episode. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.
Yo, it's me, go back. Smallest dick on the block. When I start shaking my cheeks, all them demons start to flock. Now I wanna say, even though I seem small, my Pokemon collection is quite tall. So don't mess with me if you think you're fertile, cause you know I have a level 9000 Squirtle.
Trap boys pulling up, we flexing harder than a